Herzlich willkommen bei Folge 14 von Verstehe Ayurveda, verstehe dich. In der heutigen Folge dreht sich alles um das Thema Menstruation aus ayurvedischer Sicht. Das Interview findet in Englisch statt und mein heutiger Gast ist Dr. Upasana Sharma. Sie ist Ayurveda Ärztin mit Schwerpunkt auf Gynäkologie und Geburtshilfe. Sie ist außerdem Garbha Samskar Therapeutin. Das ist eine alte ayurvedische Methode, um dem Kind bereits im Mutterleib gute und sinnvolle Dinge beizubringen und es beim Entwickeln eines gesunden Intellekts zu unterstützen. Ein weiteres Spezialgebiet von Dr. Upasana ist Dysmenorrhoe, also Probleme rund um die Menstruation. Im Interview erzählt sie uns, was Ayurveda während der Zeit der Menstruationsblutung empfiehlt und gibt uns praktische Tipps, wie wir so gynäkologische Probleme vorbeugen können. So welcome you, Dr. Upasana Sharma. I'm very delighted that you're my guest today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me and having me in this podcast and giving me this opportunity. Pleasure is all mine, actually.
Thank you. Before we start, would you like to tell us something about your background, please? Because you have Indian roots and you're an Ayurvedic doctor and your medical education has also taken place in India, but now you're in Dresden. So
Yes. So I'm Dr. Upasana Sharma. I'm an Ayurveda doctor, especially an Ayurveda gynecologist. I have been working in the field of clinical Ayurveda practice for last 10 years now, and recently I moved to Dresden. Here I am working as a guest scientist in a research institute, which is also related to the gynecology. I am doing a yoga course, a yoga class here in Dresden, and also Ayurveda consultant here.
So before we dive into the topic, which is the code of conduct during menstruation, it also has a very beautiful Indian or Sanskrit term. Where is it coming from actually? Please tell it again because I can't pronounce it properly.
Yes. So today's topic is Rajasvala Paricharya. So there are two words. The first word is Rajasvala. Rajasvala is a female who is having menstrual bleeding. So she is Rajasvala. And the second word is Paricharya, which is a certain mode of living or code of conduct according to Ayurveda, which means Ayurveda prescribe a certain do's and don'ts for a female who is having menstrual bleeding. For what? For maintenance of health and prevention of any gynecological disorder if appears. So this is a mode of living or the menstrual regime according to Ayurveda.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So before we dive into that, there's one question I would like to ask. What is Ayurveda to you?
Ayurveda for me is a way of living life because many people believe that it is a medical science or there is cure for certain disease. But yes, it is there. But first and foremost principle of Ayurveda teaches you to get tuned with nature. So basically it does prevention first. And if you are following all the preventive measures which are being told in Ayurveda, there are very less chances that you will have some disorder. But it's a human body. Anything can happen. So if a disorder still happen, there are also cure for many diseases. So it is the best example of prevention is better than cure. So these are the basic or the fundamental principle of Ayurveda. And for me, Ayurveda is, that's why it's not a medical science, merely a medical science to me. It is, for me, is the way of living my life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. So nowadays we have quite many aids to dive during these days of menstruation. We have tampons, we have menstrual cups, which are all designed to continue our normal life we live.
Yes.
And according to Ayurveda, it's a very special time of the month where we should also live differently. Maybe you want to explain a bit why Ayurveda says this is something special.
Okay, so before answering this question, I would like to throw some light on a female's lifespan in very brief, actually. So a female undergoes various changes at different stages of her life. The female lifespan, we can broadly divide that into three parts. The first part is childhood, which means before puberty, before onset of menstruation. Once the menstruation starts, so that period is called the second period, the reproductive age group. And once the menstruation stops forever, after that the period is menopause. So what is happening between this puberty to menopause? This puberty to menopause, there is happening pregnancy, there is happening a lactation phase, everything. So most of the time of a female's life is between this puberty to menopause. Now, what is the need of this topic, or why we are discussing it here now? Because we are in this competitive world today. I believe that females are stressed than ever they were, because now they are handling the pressure at office, they are handling the pressure at home and everything. And what is happening? She is having menstruation, and for example, me, I am sitting on my couch. I turn on the television, and what I see, some endorsement will, pop up. I am feeling very lethargy. I am feeling very gloomy. But what I am seeing on this television, it says, hey, it's time to change. You just wear this pad, you just wear this tampon, or you just wear this menstrual cup, and you see those actresses, they dance, they run, they exercise, they ride a bicycle. So this narrative, it is kind of a wrong information. What they are seeing, that menstruation is only the bleeding coming out of vagina. But it is not true. What they believe, that once you put a pad there and everything is sorted. But this is not the real picture of menstruation. There is a lot more happening in a female's body at psychological level, at physical level, at hormonal level, and it really do need a proper care and attention. What will happen if we'll not care, will not do attention to this? What we are seeing today, we have seen that nowadays gynecological disorders like scanty periods, like heavy menstruation, like PCOD, endometriosis, infertility, the incidence is rising. They were before, these diseases were before present, but now they are, the number is increased. So why this is increased? Because we have not given a proper attention and care to the menstruating female. So that is why Ayurveda strongly believes that this menstrual regime or this code of conduct is a perfect model of prevention, is better than cure. Now your question, that why this time of month is special. So there are three answers, or there are three reasons. This is really a very special time of month. The first reason, what Ayurveda strongly believe, कि menstruation is a naturally happening cleaning process in a body on a monthly basis. What does it mean? That a female body is, shedding the endometrium out of the vagina completely at the end of menstrual cycle. But it is not only that cleaning. Even during that cleaning, even during that bleeding, the new endometrium for the next cycle is growing there. It is reforming there for next cycle. So, if a female, she is, planning to have a baby, this is the time when the bed for that baby is started. When this is the time for the new ovum, which is, can be a potential female gamete or a future embryo.
And this starts during menstruation already.
Mm-hmm. It starts during the menstruation already. That is why it has to be given the immense importance. Second thing, okay, some people can say, oh, we are not planning to have a baby. Then what? So the second question is, a menstruating female is considered just like a person who is having an open wound. This is called in Sanskrit Vranit Vyakti, means a person who is having a wound and which is open. How? Because during this bleeding, during this menstrual bleeding, the mouth of endometrial blood vessels, they are open. Okay, so a person who is having a wound definitely need much more attention than a normal person. And the third reason is, according to Ayurveda, any disease which is happening in this body is because of the undigested food. What happens when you eat something, your digestive fires turns that food into the ras dhatu, or like in common people's language, I can say that it will turn into blood, which is very essential for your body to live. What happens during this menstrual cycle? Your digestive fire, its potency is decreased. So if you will eat normally, like you were eating in the rest of the days of your month, it will not get proper digested. And what will happen? There will be formation of ama. What is ama? Ama is toxins. Those are produced due to the improper functioning of your digestive fire. So, it is first important because you are about to create a new generation or a new offspring. And second thing, you are a wounded person and your digestive fire is not very good. So you need a special attention. These are the three fundamental reasons that a female should give more attention.
Oh, thank you for shining light on this and making this so clear. So what you mentioned as a third point, that our digestive capacity, our Agni, is not that strong during the time of menstruation. So this might be one recommendation to care about nutrition and food. Maybe you want to elaborate a bit on this?
Yes. When we will go about the do's and don'ts, when we will go to the next point, what are the do's and don'ts? As I am saying that there is a mode of living, there is a code of conduct, but what is it all about? This is all about the dietary choices, the behavioral choices, and the psychological choices a female should practice during menstruation. So, what are these menstrual regime, or what are these rules basically? So, one thing I would like to clear first, that yes, Ayurveda science is, thousands of years ago it was written. Some points people may find that are not very much relevant in today's world, or like in Ayurveda books or ancient acharyas, They have written a lot of things. But one thing which my teacher told me and explained me, which is there is no pressure on you that you have to, follow these rules as they are written. Yes, if you follow as they written, you will have the benefit. But if you follow them a bit, you will definitely see the changes in your life and in your body. So there are some changes. People may find that not relevant. They can easily leave them. There is no pressure. So now we will start. So these do's and don'ts, I want to categorize them into 3 categories. The first is the food habits or what the dietary choices a female should make. Second is the behavioral, and third is the psychological. First, dietary. Ayurveda strongly believes that a female who is menstruating should eat in an unbroken clay vessel or a coconut leaf. She should not eat on the regular utensils we are using in our kitchen. What is a possible reason behind that? It is that Mother Nature has the cure for everything. First thing, but it may sound philosophical, so now the scientific explanation that clay is having alkaline properties. So when food is served in a clay vessel or in a clay pot, it will neutralize or it will, balance the pH of that acidic food, which is you are going to have. And some research studies, but I would not like to mention them because they are not very much in number, but they are present. So what they say, that clay is having a soothing property, clay is having a calming effect, clay is having antibacterial effect, and also the hemostatic effect. What is hemostatic? Yes, hemostatic, something which, controls the bleeding. Something which is not stopping the bleeding, which is making the bleeding in an appropriate way. So clay is having that property. Yeah. And so this is how your vessel should, how your pot should. Now, what you should eat. So Ayurveda suggests that the food preparations mainly made with the ingredients like milk, like ghee, like barley, yav, according to Sanskrit or Ayurveda, and shali shastik means the rice. There is a special, variety of rice, but you can take normal rice also. It is also good.
So what was that? Milk, ghee, barley, and rice?
Yes. You can make many combination with that. You can add some sugar in that. You can add some jaggery powder in that, and you can made a kind of soup with this thing. But what is this soup is having different than the other soups? It will not have salt. It will not have any astringents. It will not have any the bitter taste, or it will not have paprika or something, which I will explain later. That Ayurveda says that you should eat this. Ayurveda at the same time also tells you what you should not eat. And what you should not eat is avoid the spicy food, avoid the excessive hot in nature, the ushna food, avoid the sour food, avoid too much salty food, avoid the processed food or the junk food which is packed, which is having preservatives or something. So don't eat those foods, because there are studies again that, as you can see, these food, they are not good for your digestive fire. So according to Ayurveda, they will hamper your digestive fire and there will toxins in your body. So that is not good. Also, there are some studies in modern science which tells that female who consume pizza, burger, or these junk foods on regular basis, or even during menstruation, they have increased tendency to develop the psychological disorders like PMS, or they are having painful menstruation, or they are having the mood swings more than the female who are not having them. So this is also a documentation available on internet, so anybody can have a look. And what this ghee, milk, barley and rice does, barley is having an extraordinary good effect on your gut health. It will improve your gut health. It will improve any signs of metabolic syndrome. It also has the antioxidant property. So it is really very good during...
Sorry to interrupt. How would you recommend, because barley is quite a big corn and it needs quite some cooking time. Would you recommend the whole grain, or have it? How would you recommend to cook it?
You can crush into like it is a whole grain. You can have a coarse powder of this, not very fine powder. You should have a coarse powder of that. With that, you can make bread at your home with simple application, with simple, adding water in this, and you can have some bread at your home. You can add ghee and make cookies at your home. What happens when I'm in India? In India, people make this roti or chapati with barley. But here people don't know how to make it. So, okay, that is all fine. What we can do here, we can add a coarse barley flour, some ghee, and then with milk, you can make a dough, and then you simply can, microwave them. You can put them in a oven, and with the application of ghee again, because ghee is really very important for menstruating female, and barley is a little harsh, you can feel in your mouth, a little hard in your mouth, so you can have that easily.
Or do pancakes with it.
Yeah, exactly. Pancake, but with no baking soda, no baking powder. Or you should avoid those things, definitely.
So it's very easy food, actually, and very nourishing.
Yeah, and one thing you also can do, you can, have, what do you say? There is a preparation called dalia. When we don't make a proper flour from barley, we just, crush it in half or 1/4 or something. Then we can boil it in water. Then we can add milk, and we can add ghee, and we can have a little sugar or jaggery powder. It will ultimately taste like you are having muesli with milk. But muesli is different thing, that is yavak. And it is barley is yav. So you just need to understand the difference. That yav is good.
And would you also add some spices like cinnamon or cardamom?
Yes, you can add cinnamon, you can add cardamom, you can add a little bit black pepper if you want. Yeah, it is not that you cannot have the salt at all. You can have the sandhav lavan, which is the rock salt, the pink salt. So you can make it, a salty preparation also. But in salty preparation, you will not add milk, because according to Ayurveda, milk with salt is not good for your body.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can have water, you can have ghee, you can have rock salt, black pepper, cinnamon, then it will be a nice soup for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you.
And same you can do with rice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so all in all, have a very easy diet, very easy to digest, and more on the soupy side. Yeah.
Yes. And one more important thing, Ayurveda suggests that you should not, during menstruation, you should not eat in bulk. You should eat in small portions. You can eat 3 times or 4 times, but you should eat a very little portion. Because if you stay a little hungry, which is, I can correlate, Karshan, according to Ayurveda, it is Karshan. That means you are not nourishing your body very properly. So again, it is a very contradictory statement with modern science, that some people may feel that, oh, you are having bleeding, then why are you not nourishing yourself and everything. But trust me, these food choices I presented to you, they are having the nourishment to your body, and you don't need some extra nourishment or something. So you can have that. Yeah.
I will definitely try the next time. Thank you.
Yes. Second, we will talk about the behavioral changes. So here comes the contradictory part. So Ayurveda suggests that a female should avoid long tub bath. Okay, the bubble bath.
What does it mean? A bath.
Tub bath.
I
Yeah,
see.
or the bubble bath or something. When you are staying in a tub filled with water for a longer duration. Yes, and you should not wash your private parts very frequently with water. So it is what Ayurveda says. And what a possible explanation I can make is, during menstruation, your internal os, which is basically the mouth of your uterus, it is open because bleeding is coming from upward and it is, coming out. So it is open. And second thing, the pH of your vagina, basically the defense mechanism of vagina, it is also altered during menstruation. So if you are having a long tub bath, or if you are cleaning your vagina regularly, so with water, with humidity or something, any infection can go up. Any infection can ascend up. So it is not very advisable. In Ayurveda, it is said that you should not bath, but we can have this explanation. So you can have a time lukewarm shower and just done. And you should not, time to time clean your vagina with water or something. It will be healthy the way it is, because your body have this wonderful and very beautiful mechanism. Just trust on this.
Mm-hmm. But so rather take a shower, but don't wash the vagina from inside, or get water inside or something.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is, female should, have abstinence from sexual intercourse. Again, the reason is same, that it can, ascend the infection on the upper part of your reproductive organs. And there are again studies which shows that female who are having sexual intercourse during menstruation, they have the twofold increase incidence of endometriosis, of pelvic inflammatory disease, of sexually transmitted disease and all. So this also should be avoided during menstruation. The third thing is, a female should sleep on a hard bed. Ayurveda says she should sleep on a darb, which is a special kind of grass. So it means like a bed which is made with darb, or a special kind of grass. It is again having some different studies that it is having some nanoparticle arrangement and everything, but we will not go that deep here. Here, what we can understand, that when you lie down, or when you sleep on a hard mattress or hard bed, what will happen? You will not feel any kind of backache. Because what happens during menstruation, later we will discuss that it is also a stage of predominance of vata disorder. So your vata in your body, it is not vitiated. It is in predominance, because it is necessary for vata to be in predominance for the menstrual blood to come out from vagina. So it is a necessity. So a female can feel that she is having a pain in lower back. So if she will lie on a hard bed, it will not be there.
So during and before menstruation, it is a necessity that vata is higher in our body. So this is nothing abnormal. This is like it should be.
Yes.
And this is why we also experience back pain during this time.
Yes. And the way to relieve this thing, you can sleep on a hard bed, and all these food choices I told you. And again, there is a thing that a female should avoid coal application in her eyes, or she should not wear some ornaments, she should not apply some face pack, she should not do some body massage or spa, or she should not decorating her nails, or
oil massages.
So it is like, do not dress up. The whole picture is, do not dress up during menstruation. So here comes the ancient thing that okay, we are living in today's era, and here in this era we can say no to someone, we can say yes to someone. But what was thousands of years back then, females, all these things were kind of they were making a female desirable, or they were making a female, I can say, ready for sexual intercourse or something. So I think acharyas have written these prohibition just to stop that you don't allow to have sexual intercourse, or you should not have sexual intercourse during menstruation. So this can be an explanation for that. Because if in today's world I will say someone that okay, you are going to office and don't apply something, she will be very angry with me. But it is not for today, it is for maybe at that time.
But that's very interesting to also see the cultural background where it comes from, and the historical background, and to understand why the original texts say like this.
Yes, that is an explanation for that. Now, she should also not done over exertion. Like, she should not talk very much, she should not laugh very much, she should not be racing, she should not be doing exercise and all these things. And simple explanation to that is, it will lead to vata prakopa. That means the vat, it is in predominance. It is higher than other doshas, but it is not vitiated. But if you will do all these activities, it will get vitiated. So vat having in predominance is not a bad thing. But vat is having in vitiation, it is something which can lead to certain gynecological disorders.
So with vitiation, you mean it's like that excessive that it's out of balance?
Yes, excessive out of balance. Yes, it is vitiation. And lastly, we come to the psychological thing. So Ayurveda suggests that a female who is having menstrual bleeding, she should always think about positive things, because what is the reason behind this? That during menstruation, you are under the influence of hormones like estrogen, progesterone, LH, FSH, everything. And maybe it is coming out of the vagina, maybe it is happening in the endometrium and ovaries, but it is governed by the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, because from where the GnRH hormone is coming, so, and FSH and LH is coming from there. So you should, tune in within yourself, and you should think about all the positive things in the world. The second explanation to this can be that, again, you are planning to have a baby. So when you will feel very good things from the very beginning of your ovum creation, then it will help, and your future progeny will be very good.
So what it means in practical everyday life, you would recommend to have a rather laid back, we have to go to office, but then, don't go out and party, rather stay at home, be yourself, read a book, do some meditation,
Yes.
such kind of things, yeah?
Yes. Like I said earlier, that you don't need to practice all these things word by word in normal practice. What you can do, like in regular basis, from 16 to 50 year of age, when you just want your reproductive health to be healthy, nothing else. You are not planning for any baby. You are not, into that. What you can do, you can have these dietary choices. And yes, initially you will find some difficulty, but later on you will see that, okay, I'm only giving 3 days, means 6 of my meals to this thing, and I am preventing myself from so many diseases. So you will have that willpower. I'm not saying in one cycle, but maybe slowly you will, go into this, that yes, this is something important to me. Yeah. Yes.
And what does Ayurveda say about the common aids to stop bleeding, like using a tampon or a menstrual cup? Is this something you would recommend?
Being an Ayurveda gynecologist, I would not recommend, because this is something you are putting high up in your vagina. And as I told earlier, that vaginal pH, yes, they are, very well sanitized, and they are, not having any kind of infection or any kind of bacteria or anything with that. But you don't know what if with your hands or with anything. Like we recently witnessed corona, and we saw that what a single virus can do. So if it is very necessary, like if you are having a game, and yes, I personally do believe that we are living in this era. Like if a female, she is having her match, she is having her Olympic match, let's say, I cannot tell her that, okay girl, don't go and don't play. This is not practical. And again, she will have to wear a tampon or menstrual cup at that stage. Yeah, it is necessary. But what my point is, try to slowly, make it a less in practice, because this is not something which is very healthy according to Ayurveda. Maybe I can completely wrong from a modern gynecological practitioner's point of view, but I'm telling what is said in Ayurveda.
And is this also a point that it's like suppressing the urges of the body, which is to bleed and to let the blood flow?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And are there in general, some dosha-related differences which we experience during menstruation?
Yes. So the menstrual cycle itself, as you know, it is a complete month. So you can divide this whole cycle into 3 parts. The first, we are talking the Rajaswala Kal, or the bleeding phase. So it is mainly governed by the Vata dosha. In our body, all 3 doshas are present at every time. It is not that there is only Vata, but Vata a little higher than the other doshas, because it is required. Vata means movement. So if Vata will not be in predominance, the blood will not come out from the vagina. So our mechanical system is, our biomechanical system is in such a beautiful way that during this particular time, your Vata is a little higher. So your blood from the endometrium can come out and go out of your vagina. So it is necessary, and it is there. The second phase is called Ritumati Kal, which is the proliferative phase. Once your menstruation stops, up to the time of ovulation is called the proliferative phase, which is roughly 12 days, or if you include the days of bleeding, it is 16 days. So during this time, your endometrium will, thickened. It will, get thicker and thicker. Why this is? This is very necessary if there is fertilization, there is sperm, and it is about to, attach there. So it is a bed. It is bed for that future fetus. Now the third thing, and this stage, so you can understand that when something is, adding up, so there is predominance of kapha dosha. And the last one is the Ritu Vyatit Kal, the secretory phase, which means when there is no fertilization, no embryo, then there will be some secretory changes, some blood vessels, some glands will grow in this endometrium, so that at the end of this, it will shed out under the hormonal influence. So it is governed by the Pitta dosha. So menstruation, Vata dosha, Ritumati, Kapha dosha, and Ritu Vyatit is Pitta dosha. So this is the arrangement of doshas.
Mm-hmm. And usually in best cases, we are also aligned with the cycle of the moon.
Yes.
So the ovulation would take place during full moon and then menstruation during new moon. Is this correct?
It cannot actually. And one thing I would like to share with you that in Ayurveda, there is no proper description of new moon and full moon in context of menstruation. Yes, there is a saying in Jyotish Shastra actually. So the new moon, so from the new moon to full moon, there is, a kind of adding things. New moon to full moon, is a kind of adding things. So it can be like proliferative phase. When your endometrium is getting thickened, your ovum is, having the dominant follicle and it is prepared for the future fertilization. And from full moon to new moon again, it is, kind of dividing things, So it is governed by the Vata dosha. But what happens? Every time your menstrual cycle or the menstrual cycle of every female cannot be in alignment with new moon. And you cannot, force your menstrual cycle to be aligned with new moon and full moon.
So you wouldn't worry too much, or also don't give it too much of a meaning if the cycle is in alignment with the moon cycles.
Yeah, because it is not in my knowledge. So I would love to hear from some expert. I would like to learn from them. But I personally have not witnessed and I have not experienced it. But yes, there can be a Vata correlation and Kapha correlation, but I have not witnessed that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
that's good. And what does the quality of the menstruation and what I experience in the body? What can it tell us about the state of my health?
Okay, so when we say the normal menstruation according to Ayurveda, when I can tell you that my menstruation, how it is, when I will have some idea about how it looks normal. So according to Ayurveda, what is normal is, first thing, it is not associated with any kind of pain, with any kind of burning sensation, without your menstrual blood, it is not having any abnormal or foul smell. What does it mean? That it will have a smell of blood, which you can sense, but it will not have any different odor. Okay? So it should be devoid of any smell. It should be devoid of any color. Means, and according to Ayurveda acharyas, they have, given a whole range of colors, but the conclusion of that is, it should be dark red in color, like a blackish red kind of tone it will have. So, and it will, the duration, what should be the duration? It should be 3 to 5 days. Like some female can have 3 days, some can have 4 days, some can have 5 days. So 3 to 5 is a range. You can, lie in between any of those days. The interval, it is 1 lunar month. Means it should be like 28 days. But according to modern science, from 21 day to 35 day, anything is normal. The important thing is your frequency should be same. Like if you are having your menses in 27 days and you are having it every month at 27 day, it is absolutely fine. This is how your body is designed. But if you are having your menses, for once like 21 day, then it is 35 day, then it is 28 day. So what means a cycle? A cycle means on a certain frequency it will come back. So the frequency really matters. So that's why in Ayurveda it is said the 1 lunar month. Now it should not be too scanty, like less in amount, or it should not very much in amount, or it should not be very excess, So these are the normal, criteria according to Ayurveda. Anything other than this, if you are facing for, let's say, 3 consecutive cycles, once you yes,
Say it again, please. I didn't understand. If you're facing 3?
If you are facing, like this month you face this, next again, then you need to go to your gynecologist or you need a checkup. Because what happens when, now this season is about to change. So what I told you about the doshas in your body, but doshas in this season will also change. So your body, will get tuned into with that also. So what happens sometimes during this transition, some female can feel that, okay, when it is, winter is coming, I feel that my period is, delayed 1 or 2 days or 3 days. It is all okay. And when summer is coming, I just got my periods, day before, 2 days before, 3 days. It is all okay. But if you are seeing that pattern, consistently, then you need to worry. Because one beautiful thing about menstruation is, it is kind of a mirror of your reproductive health. It tells you how your reproductive organs are functioning. So you can detect anything abnormal.
Thank you. Thank you for also pointing out that the changes of the seasons,
Yes.
so from winter to spring and so on, that this also influences our body, which is such a beautiful knowledge of Ayurveda.
Not with only the season. If a girl, 20-year-old girl, she is having a breakup, she is having her exam, she is traveling to somewhere, she can, witness these changes. And if it is for once or twice or thrice, it is all normal. When it persistent, then you need to go to your doctor. Because as I told you, it is all governed from here.
And now you're pointing to your head, yeah? Okay. So is there anything you would like to recommend? What would help us in everyday life? What we should teach our kids to become happy and healthy women?
Yes. I would like to conclude this topic in such a way that this Rajaswala Paricharya, it may sound, a little old-fashioned to some people, but it is a very scientific thing. It is designed in such a way that it will, keep your doshas in balance. Vat, Pitta and Kapha, your body doshas in balance. It will prevent the production of ARM, the toxins in your body, the free radicals in your body. It will, when you will, a little bit calm down, during menstruation, it will, restore your energy within your body. Yes, I know it is the most neglected mode of living. What happens when a female is pregnant? We and her family, everyone, gives her extra importance. When she is having lactation, she is, feeding her baby, everybody gives her extra importance. Even she gives her extra importance. But why not during menstruation? It is also as important as those other, stages of a female's life. And it is important because pregnancy or lactation will happen once or twice or thrice, but it is happening every month. So I personally believe that a female from very young age, when she, starts her menstruation or something, she should, her mother or her elder sister or anyone should tell her that, okay, girl, this is the time. You just relax. You just, need to a little slow down during this period. And it is not about, staying back from your competition or something. It is just about regaining your energy. So just tell her this importance of this mode of living, because then only you will respond, or the young female will respond in a very healthy way. And all these drastic, changes which are happening nowadays, you see memes on Instagram that if a girl is, having gloomy, she's angry, she's irritated, anybody can say to her, are you PMSing? Are you having your periods? So it will all be, gone when she just follow these things. And above all these memes, this is, I just told on a lighter note, we will give our future generation a healthy reproductive health, which is as important as physical or mental or psychological health.
Oh, thank you. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for this conclusion. And thank you for being my guest today. This was really interesting and something not often spoken about. So I hope this will, help many women and also their little girls. And thank you, Upasana.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It is really a very big thing for me as well in this new country, and talking about some ancient Ayurveda things. I didn't have this thinking in my mind that people will, understand or what. But yes, thank you very much for being so supportive to me. Thank you.
Well, thank you for bringing the knowledge to us. Wenn du das Gehörte hilfreich für dein Leben findest, dann abonniere unseren Podcast, indem du auf Folgen klickst. Wir veranstalten jeden Monat kostenfreie Live-Webinare, unsere New Moon Talks. Melde dich zum Newsletter an, um dabei zu sein und deine Fragen zu Themen aus Ayurveda, Yoga und Jyotish der vedischen Astrologie zu stellen. Hast du Lust, Ayurveda mit uns zu lernen? Unsere Ayurveda-Akademie-Kurse starten 3-mal jährlich. Bei uns lernst du Ayurveda mit persönlicher 1:1 Begleitung für dein Leben anwenden. Ich bin Ursula Feuerherd und du hast den Podcast der Jade Flower Academy gehört.